Is this on? Oh, wow. How about? Can you? Just a sec or two. Are they? I promise we'll get started. You better whip people into shape. Okay. It is. You just have to find it. Tina, I think. I don't. I'd like to call you all together. Call you all together. And there are some. There are a few spare chairs folded up behind that door over there. Okay. I don't know if it's a guest or a. Oh, it's Bill. It's Bill Anthony. We can. Yeah, we can wait. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hi, everybody. Um, I'm not looking that way anymore. I'm just going to get this meeting underway, okay? So anyway, thank you all for coming on this beautiful August afternoon. And thank you to the Castine Inn for allowing us to gather here. It's really very special, and it was so nice last year that we're happy to be back again. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the 2023 annual meeting. Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a second? Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, I will ask for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Thank you, Mary. Mary, the minutes are approved. I'm now going to turn our meeting over to our treasurer, John Mitchell, who will give you a little recap of the year on our financial side. Thank you, John.
Good afternoon, and thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I'm gonna start. I promise that I'm gonna speak very slowly and carefully, and this is going to be a very short speech, okay? Because all is good. I don't have a lot of bad things to say. So I'm going to start with this 2023 budget. And first, the income was approximately $60,000 above the budget. Second, the expenses were approximately $10,000 above the budget. The net result was an approximate net operating income of more than $32,000, which was more than $50,000 over the budget deficit that was budgeted for the previous year. This came about because of the great work from Lisa and all of the, the staff members of the Historical Society. They did a fantastic job with the budget. They really did. And it shows in the numbers. Bangor Savings Wealth Management, with the Finance Committee's oversight, continues to manage the endowment. The endowment funds for 2023 increased by 7.6% in market value, and that's welcome to the losses of the previous year. So that was good. This year so far, with half the year gone, more than half the year gone, income is ahead of last year. Expenses are less than last year. And the result is our net operating income for this year so far is up by about 30%. Awful lot of good things, nothing bad. And with the continued monitoring by the staff of the Historical Society, the Finance Committee, and both the budget of both the budget and Bangor Savings Wealth Management's management of the endowment, I am confident in saying that the Historical Society's overall financial picture is very healthy. In closing, I will say the Finance Committee, along with the staff of the Historical Society, will continue to monitor the general operating budget and Bangor Savings Bank's management of the portfolio to ensure that our current healthy financial picture continues into 2024 and beyond. I told you it would be brief. It's all yours.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't need an introduction. Just FYI, I'm wearing a mask because my husband's having a little surgery next week, so I want to be safe, but not wearing it while I'm speaking. So, hi everybody. Update on what we've been doing since the last annual meeting, which was last August of 2023. And just as a reminder, every year in January, we mail out a printed annual report that has committee reports from all of the different committees and has our financial picture in it as well. And as members, you do receive that annual report. And I know you all read it cover to cover, right? Yes, you do. I know you do. So really exciting projects since last August, as we always are. And let me get used to the clicker here. There we go. We'll start out by talking about our new exhibit. You all know it's this really wonderful exhibit, A History of Castine in 40 Objects. And the idea behind the exhibit came about because we've been working on the collection, which I'll be talking about in a little bit. The exhibit committee was involved in organizing this along with the staff, and it took about a little over a year to curate this exhibit from beginning to when it opened in early June. And one of the things that we had to start to do was look at the objects in the collection, and these are the objects, not the archives. Archives are paper, photographs, diaries, letters, and as you all know, that is the biggest part of our collection, is our archives. But we have a phenomenal object collection that had been kind of hidden away, hadn't been used very much. But this is my personal love, is objects. I was a object curator in my beginning of my career. So it was really exciting as we began to learn more about what is in our collection, and then we had to whittle it down to what we thought were the objects that told really unique stories about the history of Castine, and also were visually appealing objects to look at. Now, I should say that if you go through the exhibit and count, it is more than 40. And in fact, I still haven't really counted, but we realized that if we called it A History of Castine in 62 objects, that just didn't have the right ring. So we just arbitrarily picked 40 and assumed nobody would notice. And, you know, it's close. So what the volunteers did from the committee, they began by deciding which were the pieces we were going to show, which just, you know, for whatever reason, maybe didn't fit. And but a lot of it was what could fit in the exhibit too, you know, because there were things that were going to be in that had to, after we did the exhibit design, we had to cut. So the committee did research. They did the basic write-ups for us, and then we turned those into labels. There was a lot of editing by the committee. Our graphic designer who does our newsletter, and she designed all of these panels. That's Yvonne Lozère. And then Banner City Graphics in Bucksport actually created these panels for us. The committee also helps by installing the exhibit, and there are women who do this too. I just happen to only have pictures of men. And we see Don doing his thing, hanging these photographs over in the upper area here. And then it took a whole village to put together that little exhibit over there. So just, you know, kind of the things that we have to think about when we are installing this exhibit. So a big shout out to the committee. Brooke Tenney is the chair, and the committee members are Mike Boucher, Susie Hatch, Marcia Mason, Penny Carlian, and Don Tenney. And I want to give a big, big super thank you to Mark Pelletier, who actually constructed the pedestals and platforms that are in the exhibit. Really great job. And then he helped us with some of the more difficult installation conundrums. So that was really helpful as well. So he's kind of like an honorary member of the committee. Just also so you know, this exhibit will stay up for the second year. It will be up next year as well. It was decided, as you all, I think, know, I'll be retiring at the end of the year, and we didn't want the new director to have to come in and suddenly try to figure out how to do an exhibit. So it really seemed the best for us to keep this up for 2 years. Work continues behind the scenes on the permanent collection. That is that big project we've been talking about. Jules Thompson, our collection manager, is overseeing this. Penny pretty much has wrapped up her work. She photographed all the objects, she measured them, and she created a spreadsheet of all these items. And now this information is being uploaded onto the collections database by Jules. And it's all really part of our way of improving accessibility of our collection. And speaking of accessibility, as a reminder, on the website, and this is a screenshot from the website, if you go to the collections button and go to the drop down where it says online catalog, if you click that on, you'll be able to see all the objects and archives that are in the collection. You won't see all of them because it would be impossible for us to scan every item in this collection. It will probably never happen. But you can see a lot of historic photos, you can see objects, and then you click on the catalog page and you can read more about the item. So it's a really fun thing to do, especially for those who like to look at historic photos of Castine. Okay, the object, well, some objects are up there. Yes, they are. Oh, okay, never mind. You won't see any objects. Within a year, you will see the objects. Thank you, Jules, for that update. I appreciate that. We've had some wonderful donations as well as items that we have purchased as well for the collection, and I just want to show you a few highlights. There, I don't have to lean over now. On the left, this was my personal favorite. These are the Johnston family papers that were donated by a descendant in St. Louis, Brian Witherspoon. This made my heart sing. This family, it's a 3-generation family from Castine. They are the ones who lived in Main Street in the Yellow House, which we all know today is Ellie Benjamin's house, and other people know it as the Mary McCarthy House. That was the Johnston homestead. It was built by the first Johnston who moved here from York. And these papers are mostly from the 2nd generation, Daniel, who married one of the Perkins daughters. And, okay, Jules, you can add about 5 or 6 people to the attendance. Yeah, and if anyone wants to sit up here, there's 2 chairs. And you can move my stuff, Jules. So I've actually cataloged these items because I was so interested, because the Johnstons, that's the family that purchased Andrew Walker, an enslaved individual in New Orleans, and they brought him up here to Castine with them when they came back from New Orleans. The family had a very large business in New Orleans, and it wasn't until Daniel II decided to come back to Castine and move back into his house, and they brought Andrew with him as a free individual. So I was looking for all the references to Andrew and did find some really good ones. So it was, but the other thing that's in here is the only contract we have ever seen for the building of a ship. And I'm trying to remember which ship it was. I think I can't remember the ship, but it was one of our major ships, and it's the contract that was written up between the owners of the ship and the Noyes shipyard, and it includes drawings of the ship. This is like unheard of, and so that was a really exciting find in there. On the right is a contemporary collection. This is from the Bouillards. This is all the archives that they collected and saved when they did at Dennett's restaurant, when they did the fundraiser for 9/11. So this is a really important example of how we collect contemporary history. We don't just collect old documents, we want to collect what is happening in Castine. 2 Clark Fitzgerald items were donated as well. On the left, his study for the Monumental Gate at St. Louis Art Museum, and on the right is Phil Friedman's bull that he donated to us. So the buildings, the 2 buildings on the town common, I would say are our largest collection items. They are part of our collection, and it is in our mandate to care for them. So the Grindle House had the second 2 sections finished with painting. This is Bennett Painting, and they did this side and the back of this of the house. We divided this into a 2-year project because it was so expensive, and that helped us with budgeting. And very nice, Bennett Painting became a sponsor for the event Midsummer Night Fling. Ooh, why is there a picture of the Wilson Museum here? Ooh, what is she doing? Well, it turns out another thing that happened was we received a grant for $7,000 from the Maine Historical Records Advisory Board. This was for a project that some of you know about, but for the most part, we've been a little quiet about it. The Wilson Museum came to us probably the end of last year and said, we would like to donate the Castine archives from the Wilson Museum to us. And we're like, wow, okay. And then we started thinking about it and going, wow, Okay. Because this isn't like a few boxes. It's not like the Johnston family papers. We're talking a huge collection that would have to then be integrated into our archives. So we wrote this grant, which we received, and we've hired 2 archival consultants, one of whom is Paige, and they are going to review the Wilson Museum archives and come up with a long-range plan on how much would it cost for us at the Historical Society to accept this collection, because there will be costs involved, mainly people power, because there is no way that Jules could spend the time to integrate this into our collection and continue to do her daily work. So with the plan that will be finished by the end of this year, we will be armed to go out and write more grants, to hire probably a part-time consultant to actually do the integration into our collection. It's very complicated, it's very technical, but you know, it's more than just saying, here you go. It is pretty complex, and it's a big project, but it is super exciting. It will mean that when researchers come from around the world, and they do from around the world, to research Castine history, they will go to one place. They will come to us, because it's been really hard for researchers to kind of like, okay, well, who has what? And even us, you know, calling them up. Well, do you have this? Well, no, I don't have this. Do you have this? So this way, it's all going to be under one roof. Wilson Museum saw that we were the best repository for that, and we are extremely grateful for their confidence in us. Fundraising also, we had the big fundraiser in July at Gunilla Kettis's house, and that it was Midsummer Night Fling. That was chaired by Mary Dearborn and organized by the Fundraising Events Committee. The funds that we raise at our this summer event are really crucial to our general operating budget, and they go toward the exhibitions, the educational programs, and collections care. So it's really an important and fun event every summer. Speaking of education events, so that's the other big project we've been working on, is a new curriculum for the Adams School for the 7th and 8th grade. And this has been spearheaded by Alice Alston, who is chair of the Education Committee, and her committee. And one of our committee members is Georgia Zildjian, and Georgia is the person who has created the curriculum for us, and she will also present the curriculum to the school, to the 7th and 8th graders in the fall. It's going to be a multi-week project. It's really actually very large and exciting, and it uses the history of Castine's African-American population to tell bigger stories like the history of slavery, abolition, the trade we had with the South, and also the post-emancipation period. So it's a really groundbreaking curriculum. We are very excited to be debuting this with the Adams School, and we are very grateful that they are interested in this project. So I will end by saying thank you. Sorry, guys. Say thank you to the staff. On the left is Mary DeRost, and on the right is Jules. Mary is our office manager. Jules is our collections manager. They are modeling the new T-shirt from the gift shop, now no longer new. It's a vintage postcard of Castine, and we took that picture for Facebook. But I thought, well, why not use it again? They are a wonderful staff that really make the place hum. It's so professional, but it's also just a great, fun place to work. So big thank you to them. And a big thank you to all of you members. We couldn't do this without your support, without you attending our events, without your encouragement. All of that is just so invaluable as you help us grow and prosper as a historical society. So thank you very much, and I'm going to turn it back over to Susie.
Thank you, Lisa. That was terrific. That's great. Now, one of my least favorite things to do is to have to acknowledge retiring directors, those that have served on the board, but whose term limits have come to the end. This year, Two members are leaving the board, Ellie Benjamin and Alice Alston. Alice has served as chair of the Education Committee, and as Lisa mentioned, during this time, the committee has designed casting history curriculums at the Adams School, ranging from the 19th century occupations to the history of casting's African Americans. Up until 2 years ago, Alice was our docent coordinator. And that may not sound like a big job to you people, but it is a really big job. And she got us on track with the scheduling that now Dabney continues to keep us in line. And on Saturday mornings, if you're looking for Alice, you will most likely find her at the Historical Society serving as a docent. So thank you for all you do, Alice. And Ellie. Ellie served as president of the board of directors during COVID. And again, what a huge challenge that was. As current chair of the governance committee, which Ellie is current chair of, she has seen us develop new policies and a new strategic plan that we are following. The mission and vision statement has been looked at and updated. Ellie also serves on the finance committee as well as the development committee. And every morning, every Monday morning, you will find her at the Abbott School as a dutiful docent. Ellie, thank you very much for all you do. And to both of you, we look forward to your continued time as docents and as on the committees that you've been on. So thank you. And I also want to take a minute to thank Howard. Howard's not going off the board. He's not going anywhere. We're not letting him go. But Howard is stepping down as vice president. We have looked to Howard to do so many organizational things and keep us on tap with rules and regulations and things like that that's kind of important. So Howard will be staying on the board, but as I said, stepping down as vice president. And Howard, I really want to thank you for everything that you do. We are grateful. Oh. And I should say, and I meant to add there, Howard also chairs the search committee for the new executive director. So that's a pretty time-consuming thing right now. But anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Ellie for vote of the board of directors slate and the new officers.
Well, that was a send-off. Okay.
There'll be more, don't you worry.
As per the bylaws of the Casting Historical Society, we have to replace the members leaving with 3 new members. And they are Mike Bouchard. Can you hear? No. Boucher. Oh, sorry. Mike Boucher, Lisa Hogan, and Melanie Toomey, who is hiding behind this pillar right there. So, do I can someone make a motion that we accept them as for their first term of 3 years?
I make a motion that we accept the slate for the first term of 3 years.
Okay, and a second? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, that's good. Okay, now, directors for their second term. These are seasoned directors. They have been here for 3 years. Now they get a chance to be on for 3 more years. And they are Roberta Boskowitz, Karen Lyons, and Brooke Tenney. Do I have a motion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, they're on again. Now, I might just say that Brooke, this is her, well, I don't know even how many, but she went off, we got her back. Now she's getting 6 more years, okay. I will tell you the presentation of the slate. We don't vote on it here. The board will vote on it at their very next meeting. So the Board of Directors for 2024-25 is for President Susie Hatch, for Vice President Dabney McKenzie, for Secretary Brooke Tenney, and for Treasurer John Mitchell. We thank you. As we conclude the business meeting, we thank you all for coming, and we should have as good a year next year as this year. So, thank you, folks.
So, once again, I want to say thank you all for being here. I think some of you responded to my email. And as you know, because she already spilled the beans, this is Lisa's last annual meeting. She's retiring at the end of the year, and I guess we have to let her go. I wish we didn't, but that's, she's whipped us into shape. She has the most incredible organizational skills. She's created new programs and initiatives. She's reached out to the community. I mean, we are a whole new historical society. We are not your grandmother's historical society, as we say. I would like to let Lisa know that in honor of you, we are installing a very special brick in our brick walkway for you. So that will come when the bricks come. Right, you'll get it. Oh, good. Okay, thank you. And with my few words, I'd like to invite Howard up to say a couple of things, and then we have another little surprise for you.
My free electronic teleprompter. Two of the most powerful words in the English language when spoken together are thank you. As executive director, Lisa says thank you a lot. She says it to our volunteers, to our members, to our staff, to our donors. Less often does she hear thank you from us, so I want to say thank you, Lisa. And some specifics. Thank you for taking a chance on us and coming to Castine as our first executive director. We were a tough bunch. Thank you for helping the board define its hopes and aspirations for the society and making those a reality at the operational level with both grace and great competence. Thank you for making Castine Historical Society a part of the Castine community, not apart from it. Thank you for turning on the lights on those cold February mornings when staying in a warm bed might have been a preferred option. One of the great things about being retired is you can take the preferred option. Thank you for convincing our staff at CHS that it would be a great place to work and then delivering on that promise. Thank you for all those sleepless nights when you woke up at 3 a.m. worrying about the society and the work. Thank you for juggling multiple balls as executive director always has balls in the air on any given day, and not showing how disruptive a drop-in visit might be to what you needed to accomplish that day. Thank you for successfully balancing the dual roles of an executive director to be led by the board and yet also lead the board. This is a great skill that you exhibit. And on a personal level, thank you for allowing this former government bureaucrat to continue to do some of the professional things that I've always enjoyed doing and feeling like maybe I can make a contribution in my retirement. And lastly, are there any policy documents left to draft?
So now, I would love to turn the floor over to Jules and Mary.
All right, first we have to ask, are you sure? I mean, being director of a historical society is such a low commitment, stress-free job, isn't it? Don't you guys just sit around and drink tea and read history books and cut up newspapers all day?
We guess you did have a few extracurricular commitments, but like not that many, right? You were only on the Island Renaming Committee, Friends of Castine Fortifications, Chair of the Castine Merchants Association, Castine History Partners, the Bastille Day Committee, and the 4th of July Committee, in addition to being full-time executive director. And toward the end there, you were also guest preaching so often at the Unitarian Church that we thought you might earn your own robe and collar. So it's not like you were busy or anything, right?
Yeah, no stress there. And there are so many things we know you're going to miss, especially the parts of the job that you like to call other duties as assigned. Like spending the summer pulling clumps of grass out of the brick walkway, moving the heavy furniture, carting the garbage in your car.
We know how much you enjoyed making do not touch signs, and please don't bring your dog into the exhibit signs, and then making more of them, and getting Mary to reprint them in larger font, and people still not really getting the message. And who could forget the joy of finding important historical records trampled on the floor of old houses, opening boxes full of moldy books and potentially toxic chemicals, or doing a full object inventory and finally realizing just how many old nails, bricks, and shards of glass we have in the collections.
And we know you're going to miss having daily access to the state-of-the-art technology like Square and the Past Perfect catalog, and how your laptop, seriously, every time she opens it, the screen rotates 90 degrees, so we see her in there like this. Yeah, every time you open it. Most of all, won't you be sad to miss the next house and garden tour? Of course, we expect you to be volunteering for that either way. And by the way, I'm taking a leave of absence that year. We know there are some things you're actually going to miss. Us, obviously, because who wouldn't? And your emotional support monkey. And the summer interns who do custom embroidery with the emotional support monkey.
In all seriousness, during your time here, you've helped to curate not only a number of informative and timely exhibits, but you've also curated a highly professional and dedicated board and staff. You've tirelessly worked toward high-quality programming and educational outreach. You've uncovered much of the lost history of Castine, especially details about the lives of African-American residents whose stories are not only due to be told, but also fascinating in their own right. You've also, perhaps most shockingly of all, helped to correct at least one of the dates on the town signs. Just one so far. Regardless of what you will or won't miss, we will certainly miss you. Thank you for all that you bring to our shared workplace, your sense of humor, your advocacy for the staff, and your hours of historical sleuthing and research. Thank you for letting us use your personal Ancestry.com account, for driving us hundreds of miles to conferences in scary places like Massachusetts, for all the custom holiday cards and candy, and for going with us to see Barbie and the delicious drag divas.
We know you plan to keep volunteering with us, because who can leave, right? And you'll have a small part-time job, but you may still get bored being home too much. I mean, trust me, I know. But remember, our doors will always be open, and there is that special cupboard in the kitchen. We wish you all the best.
That was. Thank you both very much. I think that was just perfect. We know Lisa's not leaving till December, but we figured it was going to be really hard to get much of a crowd around here the end of December, or yet a place to be. So we wanted to make this a special last annual meeting. Again, thank you all for joining us. And please remember, if anybody has questions, concerns, comments, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of the board members, to any one of the staff. The Historical Society is really very important to all of us, and we want to see it continue to thrive, as I know we will. So my last thing here is to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Do I hear? Second? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody want to stay in here some more? No. Okay, the motion's passed. Thank you all so much. The meeting is adjourned. Please help yourself to refreshments all around.